rooms or on social media, the power to speak clearly, confidently and persuasively can open doors, influence change and shape destinies. Joining us today is the author of the inspiring and practical book, The Magic in Communication, a work that unpacks the art of public speaking and meaningful dialogue. Good morning, Max Abaiko. Thank you for joining us on Cameroon Daylight.
Good morning, Annabella. It's a pleasure being here once more. Thank you for the invite.
You are welcome. You are an author. You've penned down quite a number of books that caters to public speaking and communication. And one of your latest is The Magic in Communication, if I'm not making a mistake. Can you tell us what inspired you to put down this very important book when it comes to public speaking?
Yeah, okay. I would just want to generalize it to be communication. So I got the need to write a book on communication because I discovered that communication is not only important, but it's necessary. In fact, communication is a bloodline of every relationship. And in everything we do, we find the need to relate with another person in order to strive. So if we go to employer, we have employer and employee relationship. We have boss and steward relationship. We have all types of relationship, even in marriages, husband and wife. It's still relationship, and that which will control, which will determine the success of such relationship is centered on communication. So I saw a need to write on communication because I discovered that communication, which is vital in every relationship, seems to be neglected. Many people, one, don't know how to communicate. Two, those who know how to communicate do not communicate properly. So we have absence of communication and improper communication. So I decided to address that.
I have many young people in Cameroon who struggle to communicate with your interactions with young people. I know you do host classes that cater to effective communication for young people. With your interactions with them, what are some of the key struggles they have?
Yeah, you see, the struggles they have stems from the fact that the education we have now has really been tainted, has really been reduced because it beats our imagination, my imagination personally with my experience with these students, to understand that we have master students, we have even PhD holders who cannot express themselves both in writing and verbal using the English language. It's very poor. It's devastating. When you listen to them talk, you discover the grammatical errors that protrude from their verbal and written communication. You begin to wonder, how did these people scale through secondary school? How did these people scale through universities? How did they even get this certificate? So that is a problem. So we find that many of them cannot even express themselves in simple English. We're not talking about master's English, but in simple English, they are unable to express themselves. So that calls for the need to go back to do what perhaps some teachers fail to do during secondary schools or maybe in the universities and so on and so forth. We are going back to train these students, train these people on the importance of knowing how to express yourself efficiently in writing and knowing how to express yourself efficiently verbally.
And we know that, we just mentioned rather that body language is important, verbal and non-verbal communication. When you talk about verbal and non-verbal communication, how is that important when it comes to maybe delivering a message?
Yes, non-verbal and verbal communication constitute the types of communication. In fact, we have three main types of communication, just to rush on that. We have written communication, verbal and non-verbal communication. Since your question specifies on verbal and non-verbal, I will tell you that verbal has to do with the words that, it has to do with spoken word. That is the word that protrudes out of the mouth, what you say, the type of words you use. It's what we call verbal communication. Now, non-verbal communication has to do with signs, it has to do with gestures, body language, and so on and so forth. Now, it's necessary to know that verbal communication and non-verbal communication complement each other. So your non-verbal communication ought to complement your verbal communication. I'll give you an example. You can not be saying that you are clean, you are a clean person when your dress is dirty. So non-verbal communication here will have to do with your appearance, and the verbal communication here is you affirming or telling people that you are a very neat person, but your dress or your shoes, they are dirty. So your non-verbal communication is conflicting with your verbal communication, and it will not pass across the message. For example, if you are telling a sad story and you are smiling, that is your verbal communication or your non-verbal communication conflicting with your verbal communication, because if you are telling a sad story, you ought to show some sort of remorse. Your body language has to show, your facial expression, most importantly, has to show that you are also sad. You are aligning with the story you're telling. So I can go on and on to give you the connection, the intercourse between verbal communication and non-verbal communication.
You could definitely give us more, but since you have this a workshop on effective communication and it is holidays, could you tell us a little bit about this workshop and why young people should attend it?
Yes, I decided through the canopy of our association, the Association of New Generation Authors, to launch a training on effective communication, which is baptized Becoming a Magic Communicator. There is a need, just like I mentioned earlier, that people need to learn communication, because communication is the most important currency in the market of opportunities. I repeat, communication is the most important currency in the market of opportunities, which means that if you can write well, if you can talk well, most importantly, then you will have a lot of opportunities. You will win a lot of opportunities. Now, when we train, we organize this training because we discovered that a lot of Cameroonians cry about unemployment in Cameroon, and we cannot help but accept it that as a fact that there is a high unemployment rate in Cameroon. The question is, should we end at the level of complaining? No, we cannot. We just have to see what we can do to solve the situation. So we decided that there are means, there are possibilities for Cameroonians, particularly young Cameroonians, to create opportunities for themselves, to create employment for themselves. And one of the visibility, one of the possibility in creating this opportunity is for them to get this currency in the market of opportunity, which is communication. If they know how to talk well, they can create something and push it out, because we've discovered that many Cameroonians are talented, many Cameroonians are gifted. Some of them have even created businesses, they have created something, but people don't know about it because they lack these communication strategies to put it out there, to dispense it to the population, to make them aware. Because if people don't know what you do, if people are not aware about your product, then you will not make any benefit. You will just end in the cartier level. So we are telling Cameroonians that it is very important for them to communicate. So that's why we're organizing a training on effective communication, and one of the items there is business communication, learning business communication. I'll just give you 4 tips so that if you cannot attend or if you want to attend, you can get better.
That was going to be my next question. For those who cannot attend or those who cannot lay hands on your book, what tips are you going to give them?
Yeah, you should understand, as a student of human nature, I'm a student of human nature. I have come to discover that when it comes to human nature, there are 4 things that you should know. And these things, they cut across every field of work, but in communication as a whole, or as a communicator, someone who aspires to use communicator to grow their field of work, you have to understand these 4 things. 1 is attention. You should know how to create people's attention. You should know how to create awareness about your product towards people. So people should know what you do. That is creating attention. The second thing is respect. You should know how to respect people. If you can respect people, then they will find some ease with you. They will find some ease being around you. The third is praises. If you know how to give people praises, shower praises, as we see some government officials do, you should understand that it is not by hazard, it's not by accident. It is a necessity. It is a strategy for growth in every domain, knowing how to give people or shower praises either to your boss or to your customers or to those you are working with to achieve a particular goal. Whenever they do something, you try to praise them. The last is appreciation. So learn the art of appreciation. If you know the art of appreciation, appreciating people for the little they do, appreciating your customers, appreciating your boss, appreciating your employees, and whoever deems appreciation, you should not hold it back. You should give it to the person. So that is what we teach people when it comes to communication during this training, and we have given to you. If you cannot make the training or make it in the training, and if you can, then you can get to us and learn more.
Of course. And before we take leave of you, if you can tell us maybe where they can get the books or how they can join the class, and even before that, why not tell us some of the challenges? You have published several books. You've had these workshops with young people. What are some of the challenges you faced when it comes to getting young people to attend those classes and learn more about effective communication?
Yes, the challenges I face personally as a trainer stems from, 1, the lackadaisical nature of youth when it comes to training or seminars. So lackadaisical, I mean lack of interest. Many of them, they seem to be fed up with training seminars here and there because we have trainers, we have coaches, we have them everywhere, we have seminars everywhere. So these youth are fed up with trainings because most of the trainers, most of the coaches, they train people, they train these youth and they leave them to the street. And it's not different from what universities or the classroom teachers do. They give people theories, give them certificate, and they go back to the streets, maybe to ride Okada or ride a bike and stuff like that. So many of these youth have attended trainings, they have certificate, they have attended training on leadership, training on this. The question is, what next? So if you go with that same motive of just organizing a training, they will find it lackadaisical. It won't really call their interest, particularly those who are purpose, those who are focused. They will ask you, what next after the training? What next? So we have devised a means, this is a challenge we face, yeah, certainly, where when you talk to students or talk to people about trainings, they tell you, you see, Max, I've attended a lot of trainings, so I don't know, I don't feel a need to attend any training anymore. So what we are doing, that is a challenge to us. Now what we're doing to combat that challenge is necessary.
Of course.
Yeah, what we're doing to combat that challenge is to ensure that we do not only train people on effective communication, we also ensure that we give them the opportunity to showcase themselves, to showcase what they have learned and win cash prizes. Because when people know that there are cash prizes available for them after training, then they will be interested to learn so that they can apply what has been learned to win cash prizes. That is the only way we can do it, to call many people into training, because these people have learned a lot in so many trainings. So what we do, particularly as Authors Association, when we go out there to train youth on effective writing, after training them on effective writing, we launch a writing competition. So we've launched several writing competitions, particularly poetry writing competitions with cash prizes. So it permits those who have undergone training to test their capacity to test what they have learned and win cash prizes. Secondly, we train about public speaking, that is effective public speaking. Now, when we train people on public speaking, we started last year by launching the National Public Speaking Competition with huge cash prizes, aim at giving those who have been trained on public speaking the opportunity.
That was last year. What about this year?
Yes, this year we'll definitely launch this year. Yeah, it's just that we don't like.
Already? Do you have a date
not
already?
Not yet. And
okay.
I have this policy that you don't announce when it's not yet ready. Okay. So when it will be ready, we'll definitely come back here to announce.
In a few words, tell our audience where they can purchase your book or get their hands on it, and how they can join your class.
Okay, for the books, you can, I think we have them in so many bookshops, in Douala, in Boya, in Limbe, in Bamenda, but you can easily get those books and even our training by getting to me directly through the following contact.
Yeah, or your social media. You can give your social media handle.
Okay, so you can get to me, Abaiko Max, on Facebook. And if you want to get directly to our Association of New Generation Authors, you just search Association of New Generation Authors. But if you don't want to go through this lengthy procedure, you can get to me directly through the following numbers: 678670442. 678670442. If you are using Orange, 659072515. 659072515. You can get to me, get the books, and also continue the training with us. Mark you, the training we've launched will run throughout the month of July. That is this month of July. Every weekend, Saturday and Sunday is an online training, so you don't need to pay transport to come to a particular place. So you just need to join, text me, and we'll add you in the WhatsApp group where you will continue the training with us.
Thank you so much, Max Abaiko, for being our guest on Cameroon Daylight, and of course sharing your expertise on effective communication. And we say thank you to you and hope we share the set sometime soon again.
Definitely, it's always a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much, beautiful Annabella, for inviting me.
Thank you. And that was Max Abaiko, and a Cameroonian author and communication expert on CRTV News, sharing his expertise. And from that, we are going to welcome Clarence Ngay on set, who is ready to bring us the press review in the English language. Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning, Annabella Tabi.